Hello everyone and welcome to Learn Programming. So in this tutorial I'm going to tell the difference between procedural programming and object-oriented programming, the types of inheritance, what is object-oriented programming, how multiple inheritance works, and what are the widely used real-world applications of multiple inheritance. So this is basically on procedural and object-oriented programming as well as multiple inheritance. So the key differences between procedural and object-oriented is that procedural is function-based, object-oriented is object-based, procedural is stored separately from functions, the data is stored separately, and in object-oriented encapsulated within objects. In procedural oriented, data is not the important aspect, whereas in object oriented, data, it is based on data. Data is the boss, data is the customer. Now reusability, code reuse is limited in procedural approach, whereas encourages code reuse through inheritance in object oriented. If we talk in the terms of security, then again procedural is less secure. Data is exposed, whereas object-oriented is more secure. Data is private by default. If we talk about use cases, then simple programs we use. In object-oriented, we use large-scale applications and we build large-scale applications and GUI-based software. Number two is the inheritance in object-oriented programming. So this is the most important concept and where data is important, child class and parent class. So inheritance is one of the core principles of object-oriented programming. It allows a new class called the child class to inherit properties and behaviors from an existing class called a parent class or superclass. This promotes code reuse and hierarchical relationships between classes. How inheritance works: the child class automatically gets all attributes and methods of the parent class. This is also in real world. If we connect it to the real world, because in order to remember it, we just connect it to real world, that the children are going to get some of the attributes of the parent, the talents of the parent. The child class can override or modify inherited methods or add new methods. So this is a new polymorphism characteristic called overriding. Then it creates a hierarchy, making the code more organized and modular. So from hierarchy, we can understand the word tree. Like in a tree, we have separate branches. We have different branches. So just understand hierarchy by branches. Next is types of inheritance: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Single is like everybody know, like one parent is having one child. In multiple, we have multiple parents are having a single child. That means like cross, like one husband or one man is having two wives and he's having children from both. So that comes under multiple inheritance. Number three is multi-level. A child class inherits from another child class, child of child. Next is hierarchical inheritance, which is multiple class inheritance from one parent class. Multiple child classes inherit from one parent class. So this always you can remember from a tree, like a tree trunk is there and there are separate branches which are going from that tree trunk. So multiple child classes inherit from one parent class, that is hierarchical. How multiple inheritance works. Multiple inheritance in object-oriented programming allows the child class to inherit attributes and methods from more than one parent, as I said earlier. So this can be useful when an object needs characteristics from multiple sources, but it can also introduce complexities such as conflicts when parent classes have methods with the same name. Now, how multiple inheritance works. The child class inherits from multiple parent classes, gaining access to their properties and methods. If two or more parent classes have a method with the same name, the child class must resolve conflicts by using overriding. So this is another principle, polymorphism, which I'm not covering in this video, but in next one I'm going to cover. Now this is used carefully. It reduces redundancy by allowing reusable code across multiple hierarchies. So this is the basic motto, actually. This is the basic motto of inheritance and object-oriented programming, that data is given importance, object is given importance, and it reduces the data redundancy. Now, the last is the real world applications of multiple inheritance. Multimedia editing software, it is used everywhere. Multiple inheritance, multimedia editing software, smart home applications, real world relevance, online payment systems like a payment gateway, PayPal, Razorpay needs to process payments to different modes such as credit cards and cryptocurrency. So this is also an example of, this is a very real world and practical example of multiple inheritance. Real world relevance, like e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, PayPal needs to process payments from multiple sources, like multiple inheritance, a practical solution. And like I said, multimedia editing software like Adobe Premiere or Filmora. So a video editing application might have different modules for audio and video processing, and a class that manages both. So thank you so much for watching.